With baseball season right around the corner, let's talk about 10 of the biggest tryout turnoffs for coaches. You want to be sure that you avoid all 10 of these things. That way you can maximize your chances of not only making the team, but making this year your best year yet. So without further ado, let's get started. The first turnoff is being late. You can't be late. You gotta arrive on time. And even better than that, you should be arriving early, right? If making the team matters to you, if you wanna be on this roster, if you wanna be a starter, if you wanna be a leader on this team, you cannot show up on time for tryouts or just on time for practice. It's better to be, a few minutes early, but it's better to give yourself plenty of time, especially in a tryout setting. Give yourself plenty of time to get both physically and mentally ready to go before the tryout. I mean, this is a big day. You need to be at your best. The worst thing that you can do is just show up and be rushed, and it does not say good things about you when you are not on time. So in baseball and in life, you've got to be punctual, arrive on time. At the latest, arrive on time. You should be early, ready to go, show that you care, show that you want to be a big part of this team, that you want to be a leader. So that's number one turnoff. Can't be late to tryouts. Turnoff number two is not dressing like a ball player. You've got to look the part, and if you don't show up looking the part, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb at baseball tryouts with everybody else who is looking the part, okay? So what that means, pretty self-explanatory. Even if you've never played the game of baseball before and this is your first tryout, just Google baseball player, look at Google Images, or look at some of your favorite big leaguers and try to replicate what you see. You don't have to wear the wristbands and anything crazy like that, but you should be wearing, a baseball hat. That's number one. You should not show up to tryouts without wearing a hat. You got to be wearing a hat and wear it forward. Don't be wearing it backwards, okay? Wear your hat forwards. Be sure that you're wearing a shirt, ideally not a shirt from a different team that you played on beforehand. Wear an athletic baseball shirt of some kind, and then wear baseball pants, and be sure that your shirt is tucked in. Be sure that you are wearing a belt. You don't want to, not be having a belt and just having the pants and the shirt tucked in look. That looks kind of weird, doesn't look like a baseball player. Don't be wearing shorts, right? Baseball pants. And then depending on if your tryout is, maybe it's indoors, be sure that you got some athletic shoes, or ideally some baseball turf shoes. That works best. Don't be bringing cleats if it's indoors, right? That's not going to work very well. And also, if it's an outdoor tryout, don't be arriving in sneakers or tennis shoes, right? You've got to figure out and plan ahead on, okay, where's the tryout? What's the setting going to be? And what do I need to wear to really look like I belong on this team? And don't wear anything that makes you stand out in a negative way. Don't be wearing crazy bright colors or anything that's just off the wall and weird. You want to allow your play to make you stand out. You don't want to wear anything that makes you stand out in a negative way before you even take your first swing or before you even do the warm-up with your team. Turnoff number three is lack of hustle. Lack of hustle just simply shows that you don't really care and you don't really want to be there. So you need to bust it no matter what you're doing, transitioning from drill to drill, or maybe you're just, you're jogging to the other side of the field or the gym or whatever to get ready for the dynamic warm-up. You need to get there in a hurry, not 100%, sprinting. That's not necessarily necessary, right? But you can't be walking, you can't be slowly jogging. Get there, show that you care, be first in line, show some leadership, and just bottom line, hustle makes things happen. It's a good habit to get into because it's going to transfer to real games, and that's where it matters most. You can't hit a pop-up and jog to first base. You can't hit a ground ball and be frustrated at yourself and jog to first base. You've always got to hustle. You always have to run hard 90s, and it starts in practice. That's where you develop this habit. So get into the habit of always at tryouts and beyond in practice, and even in real games, you've got to be hustling. How about number four, talking while they're talking? I don't know if there's another turnoff that turns coaches off more than this. You can't be, when they're explaining things on how to do things or how to do a drill or what today's going to look like, you can't be in the back with your arms folded like this talking to one of your buddies. If they see you do that, I'm telling you, that's almost an instant check through your name. You do not want to do that. Pay attention, lock eyes. Don't be, doing this with your arms crossed. That shows that you don't care. Don't be looking at the ground. Focus. You're there for your tryout's going to be 2.5 hours, something like that. So be locked in for that amount of time. If you can lock in for that long playing video games, I'm sure you can do that at baseball tryouts too, okay? So don't be talking when your coach is talking. Number 5 is poor grades. Another quick way for you to get cut, honestly, is, if two players are pretty much identical when it comes to skill set, one of them's a 4.0 student and the other one gets C's and D's, maybe is on the borderline of failing a couple classes, who's more of a liability? It's the guy with bad grades. They're going to always have to be on him about his schoolwork, and the other guy, they don't have to worry about. They just worry about him on the field. They know he's going to take care of business off the field, so be that player. Number 6 is distracting them while they're evaluating other players. It's one thing if you've got a question about something, or if you need to communicate something to your coach, that's part of the reason that they're there, right? That they want to answer your questions. But at the same time, you got to understand, at a tryout, this is not practice. They're trying to actively evaluate players. So don't be talking to them about something that's completely unrelated to the tryout or something that can wait till later, wait till after. They're focused there, and it's just going to get under their skin if you don't value what they're doing and how they're trying to evaluate players. So that's a big one. Number 7 is a poor attitude. And this is another one of those where this is a major turnoff. You've got to have a good attitude. You can't be at tryouts thinking, why are we, showing poor body language? Why are we doing this drill? Why am I partnered with this person? All that's going to transfer to the real games and the real field. And you're going to be looking at your third base coach, why is he telling me to bunt here? I don't want to do a hit and run here. That's not going to cut it. You have to, put the team first. Baseball is a team sport. Yes, there are individual performances, but it's a team sport. So you've got to have a good attitude. And not only that, you've got to stay on the positive side of things beyond tryouts, in practice and in real games, because baseball is a tough game. If you didn't know that, baseball is a tough game, and you're going to have a lot of failure. You're going to look silly. You're going to fail a lot at the plate. You're going to have a lot of strikeouts. You're going to have errors. You're going to have bad throws. You're going to have terrible games. Baseball's tough, and so if you have a bad attitude, it will eat you up. If you're constantly negative, you'll just have failure after failure after failure. You've got to stay on the positive side. You can't ride this emotional roller coaster. You got to kind of stay even keel and always show up with a smile, because at the end of the day, this is a game. It's supposed to be fun. You're out, in the sun, green grass, birds are chirping. You're out there with your best friends playing America's pastime. It's a beautiful game, and it's a game. It's not a life or death situation. So you always have to remember, attitude is key. You got to show up with a smile. You got to show up with a team first, good attitude. The 8th turnoff is showing up completely out of shape. Ideally, if you want to maximize your chances of making the team, you should show up in the best shape of your life. That should be your goal every single year, is to get better and to always never let yourself fall out of shape. But, especially at tryouts in the beginning of the year, you should be in your absolute best shape, because you should have been working all off season. But that's not reality for a lot of players. The worst thing that you can do is show up completely out of shape. So when you guys are running, 60-yard dash, you're running sprints at the end of practice, and a coach looks at you like, man, you haven't done anything this offseason. You haven't been working out. You haven't been going to any of our voluntary workouts. You haven't been playing other sports. What have you been doing? It looks like you've just been sitting there drinking soda and, eating pizza and playing video games, doing nothing to improve. How bad do you really want to be on this team? How bad do you really want to crack that starting lineup? So it's not a good look. You should want to show up for yourself, show up in the best possible way for yourself, but also you should want to impress your teammates there and impress your coaches. And to play at a high level, you got to be in good shape. So don't show up out of shape, period, but completely out of shape. That's unacceptable. Number 9 is screwing around in between drills or when you're warming up. This goes right along with, talking when they're talking. It's just one of those pet peeves to where it doesn't look like you're taking this seriously. It doesn't look like you really want this. And look, I get it. Baseball's fun. It is not a life or death situation. You need to have fun. You do need to joke around on the field. You don't have to be uptight and serious 24/7, because what fun is that? At the end of the day, your career is short, no matter how long you think it is. Even if you play for 20 years, in the grand scheme of things, your career goes by in a flicker. So you've got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy every single moment you get on the field. But there's a time and a place for, laughing and joking around, and it's not in between drills when they're explaining something. It's not when, you're warming up. It's not when at a tryout situation when you're supposed to be locked in and focused. So save that for another time. At the tryouts, be locked in for, again, 2.5 hours. And last but certainly not least, number 10, showing any signs of being a poor teammate. That's another big turnoff. And this can be a wide variety of different things, but it can be the coach asks you to do something and you don't really want to do it, or you roll your eyes, or any sort of bad body language. It could be a comment that you make to one of your teammates that just, you know, it shouldn't have been said, or it shouldn't have been said in the manner that you said it. And if they overhear these types of things, or they hear about some of the things that, you know, you're maybe into off the field or whatever, if they have any sort of suspicion about you on, man, this guy, he might not be up to much and he might not be the best teammate. What they're trying to do at tryouts, you have to understand, is they're trying to figure out, you know, okay, who's a good fit? We've got this bus. We need to figure out who belongs on the bus, who belongs off the bus, and the people that are staying on the bus here, we need to get them in the right seats. That's what Nick Saban talks about at Alabama. That's what they're trying to do at spring practice, okay? That's what every coach out there is trying to do, is they've got this bus, and their job is to guide that bus in the best possible way. And so they're looking for any reason to, oh, you don't belong on the bus, you're gone, cut. You don't want that, right? You don't want to give them any reason, any suspicion that you're not going to be a good teammate. So there you have it, 10 of the biggest tryout turnoffs. I'm sure this list is not complete. What else would you add to the list? What's a big turnoff that you would say that coaches just like, nah, next, this guy's cut? Leave a comment down below, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. It should be right down there. You can hit that right now. That way you'll be notified whenever we release these new baseball videos every single week. So I wish you the best of luck at your tryouts. I know you're gonna crush it. Show up, you know, work hard, leave it all on the field, leave no room for regrets, and you'll have nothing to lose. You'll be well on your way to making the team, and continue to work hard, continue to chase your dreams, and continue to get, you know, 1% better every single day, and you're gonna have a great season. I have no doubt about that. So best of luck at tryouts, best of luck this season. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.